Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're talking about something I think we're all interested in: productivity.
Who isn't, right?
Seriously. But it's not just about doing more, it's about,
Doing the right things.
exactly, getting more done of what matters most. And we've got some great sources to help us unlock that productivity power-up. We're looking at a YouTube video from Better Off Guide and a really detailed PDF packed with AI tools.
A good mix of classic and cutting edge. I like it.
Me too.
Yeah.
So we'll uncover some practical strategies and also see how AI can be like our new best friend in actually getting things done.
Yeah, both of these sources really highlight the connection between productivity and work-life balance, which I think is so important. It's not about burning yourself out.
No, it's not. It's about having a more fulfilling life overall. Better Off Guide really hit me with this idea that productivity isn't about just like checking off every single task. It's about,
Yeah, it's about achieving goals.
yes, goals that actually mean something to you, not just
Yeah.
busy work.
It's about being intentional with your time and energy.
So instead of having like a never-ending to-do list, think, what really matters to me right now, both at work and in my personal life.
Yeah, like what actually moves the needle forward in the areas that are important to me.
Right, and then how do I focus my energy to actually make progress on those things?
Because it's so easy to just get swept up in the whirlwind of everything, you know?
Absolutely. And I think that's where those classic productivity strategies really come in. They're classics for a reason, because they work.
Okay, so Better Off Guide starts with setting clear goals and not just like vague wishes, but like,
Specific, measurable targets.
yeah, I love that
Yeah.
because it's like breaking down a marathon into manageable miles, right? Each small goal you achieve gives you that little boost of motivation to keep going.
It's such a good point.
And then there's prioritizing, which I am a huge fan of the Eisenhower Matrix.
Oh, yeah.
Better Off Guide mentions that too. Have you heard of that?
Of course, it's a classic for a reason. Helps you figure out what needs to be done NEW versus what can wait.
Yeah. What's urgent, A&D important, and then what can be delegated or honestly just eliminated altogether.
Exactly.
Sometimes that's the best thing, just get rid of it. But okay, here's where I get tripped up sometimes. Even with like a prioritized list, I can get so focused I forget to take breaks.
Oh, I know that feeling.
Which ironically, Better Off Guide reminds us is key why for productivity.
It seems counterintuitive, but our brains aren't designed for hours of nonstop work. We need those short breaks to reset and refocus.
Like hitting the refresh button.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's where something like the Pomodoro technique comes in. 25 minutes of focused work, 5-minute break, just like that.
Yeah, the Pomodoro technique is so interesting to me because it actually aligns with our natural ultradian rhythms. Our energy levels naturally ebb and flow throughout the day, so instead of fighting it, we can work with these cycles for optimal productivity.
It's not just some random timing trick. There's a reason it works.
Yeah.
Working with your brain, not against it.
Okay, so we've got these classic strategies as a foundation, but now let's bring in the AI. This PDF we have is all about how AI can supercharge our productivity.
I'm intrigued.
What I find so fascinating is that it doesn't like try to replace those core strategies, but it enhances them, you know, like streamlines them.
Yeah, building on those strong fundamentals.
Right. So take workflow automation, for example. AI can tackle those repetitive, time-consuming tasks that we all dread.
Like data entry, scheduling appointments.
Well, my gosh, even just sorting through emails. Can you imagine AI handling that in a fraction of the time?
Will free up so much mental space.
That's the thing. And that's where it connects back to time management. AI isn't just about speed, it's about freeing up your mental bandwidth for the tasks that require human ingenuity.
Exactly. The strategic thinking.
The problem solved.
And the creative work, the things AI can't replicate.
Makes you think, what could you achieve if you had like an extra hour or two each day just for those high-level tasks?
It's not just about doing more, it's doing more of what matters.
Absolutely. So let's get into some specific AI tools because our sources, they've got this great mix of both like well-established options and some that are a little more cutting edge.
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right, so the PDF highlights Asana and Trello for task management. And they've gotten so sophisticated, like using AI to help you prioritize tasks, track progress, even collaborate with your team more effectively.
Whoa, those are classics. And I know they've been making big strides in integrating AI.
Right. I've been using Trello for a while, but I haven't really dove into its AI features yet.
Oh, I think you'll be impressed.
Okay. And for those of us who struggle with distractions, we can't forget about distraction blockers. The PDF recommends freedom and stay focused.
Those can be lifesavers when you need to really buckle down and focus without getting pulled into the black hole of social media
Oh, yeah.
or, whatever your vice is.
I think we could all use a little help with that. Okay, now, the Better Off Guide video takes things in a slightly different direction.
Oh, tell me more.
The host, Jim Peak, is all about using GPT-4 for decision-making.
Okay, now GPT-4 is fascinating. It's a large language model that can, understand and generate human-like text. You can ask it complex questions and get really thoughtful, nuanced responses.
And he even shared a prompt that he uses with GPT-4, which I thought was so cool. He's like, should I post tips on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Facebook?
Oh, interesting question.
Right, and he's like, brainstorm with me the upsides and downsides of each channel. And the response was incredible. It gave a detailed breakdown of each platform's pros and cons.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's like having the super intelligent research assistant who can analyze tons of data and present it to you in this really clear, concise way.
It really takes the pressure off of those tough decisions.
Right, so it doesn't make the decision for you, but it gives you all this information, like different perspectives, so you can make a more informed choice.
Augmenting your own ability.
Yes, exactly. And speaking of staying ahead of the curve, Jim Peak also raves about this tool called Exploding Topics. Have you heard of this one?
I have, yeah.
It's all about trend discovery. So it analyzes online conversations, searches, social media activity to identify topics that are gaining momentum.
So it's like a crystal ball that gives you a glimpse into the future of your industry.
Basically, you can spot opportunities before they even become mainstream.
Which could be huge for businesses and entrepreneurs.
Oh, absolutely. It's about being proactive,
Right.
right? And anticipating future trends instead of just reacting to them.
I love that. Being ahead of the game.
Okay. Now, for the ultimate productivity hack, he recommends MindPal.
MindPal, okay.
Think of it as your personal delegation machine. It connects you with virtual assistants who can handle all sorts of tasks.
So like scheduling appointments, managing your inbox.
Yeah, even doing research or creating content.
So you could have a whole team of virtual assistants at your beck and call.
It's amazing, and it really ties back to that whole idea of focusing on your strengths and delegating the rest.
Working smarter, not harder.
Exactly. Okay, but Better Off Guide also makes this point that I think is so important, especially in the age of AI.
Oh, what's that?
The power of saying no. Because we often feel pressured to say yes to every request or opportunity that comes our way.
Oh, I know that feeling all too well.
Right. But overcommitment, it leads to burnout. It hinders our productivity in the long run.
It's true. In a world where we're constantly bombarded with information and demands on our time, saying no can be the ultimate act of self-care and productivity.
Right. And especially when you consider how AI can create all this space in our lives. It's like we have all these tools to be more efficient, but it's still up to us to make choices about what we actually want to focus on.
AI can free up our time, but it can't make those decisions for us. We still need to be discerning about how we use our time and energy.
So as we wrap up part 1 of our productivity power-up, here's a thought-provoking question for you to ponder. What could you say no to today that would free up time and energy for what truly matters?
Ooh, that's a good one. Something to think about. Because sometimes the most productive action is actually inaction. It's about reclaiming control over your time and priorities.
And on that note,
We'll be right back.
that question we left you with about what you could say no to really gets to the heart of things, doesn't it? Like reclaiming your time and energy.
It does. It's so easy to get caught up in all the demands and forget that we actually have a choice. Okay, before we get too philosophical, I want to circle back to those AI tools for a minute. We were talking about MindPal and how it connects you with virtual assistants.
Oh, right. Yeah. MindPal is a great example of how AI and human talent can work together. It's not about replacing jobs. It's about creating a more efficient system where people can focus on what they do best.
Right. It's like having this whole team of specialized experts, but without the overhead of hiring them full-time, which is amazing.
Right.
Which, speaking of Better Off Guide, they emphasized how important a healthy lifestyle is for productivity. And guess what? AI can help with that too. It's true. There are so many AI-powered apps and devices now that can help you track your fitness, monitor your sleep, even personalize your meal plans.
It's like having a virtual health coach right in your pocket. What I think is so cool is that these tools, they can learn your habits and preferences over time, so the more you use them, the more effective they become.
Oh, totally.
Imagine an app that not only tracks your workouts, but then it suggests adjustments based on your progress or even the weather.
Or a device that analyzes your sleep patterns and then recommends changes to your sleep environment or your bedtime routine.
Right. It's amazing how personalized these tools can get. But it's important to remember that AI, it's a tool.
Yeah, not a magic bullet.
Right. It's not going to like magically solve all your problems. It can give you insights, it can make recommendations, but it's still up to us to take action.
You have to put in the work.
Exactly. It's about using these tools to empower ourselves, not to become dependent on them. Speaking of empowerment, let's talk about another area where AI is making a big impact: communication.
Ooh.
Think about all the time we spend on email, meetings, just like trying to stay on top of things. AI can help streamline those processes and make communication more efficient, more effective.
I mean, I'm all for anything that can help me manage my inbox better.
Me too. So there are AI-powered communication tools that can, for example, analyze your inbox and then prioritize the most urgent emails. They can flag potential issues, even suggest responses.
Wow, that's amazing. Can you imagine the time you could save?
Right. I've actually been using one of those tools recently, and it's been a game changer.
Oh, really?
Seriously. It's helped me cut down on that email overwhelm, so I can actually focus on the messages that really require my attention. It even catches potential typos and suggests better wording, which is a lifesaver.
Especially for those of us who are prone to typos.
Oh my gosh, yes. Always rushing, you know? And then there are tools for scheduling meetings, taking into account everybody's availability, time zones. No more endless email chains.
Oh, that would be amazing. Just tell me when and where to be.
Seriously, I can't tell you how many hours I've wasted just trying to coordinate meeting times.
I feel that pain.
And okay, we can't forget about AI-powered transcription and translation tools. These are so valuable, especially for like international teams or anyone working with colleagues who speak different languages.
Right, breaking down those language barriers.
Imagine being able to instantly transcribe a meeting or translate a document into multiple languages.
It would make global collaboration so much easier.
Oh, for sure. So we've covered a lot here, from AI-powered task management and virtual assistants to all these amazing communication tools. It's clear that AI has the potential to like really revolutionize the way we work and live. But I think it's important to step back for a second and consider the bigger picture. Like, what does it really mean to be productive in today's world?
Yeah, that's the question, isn't it? It's easy to get caught up in the tools and the techniques, but ultimately, productivity is about more than just getting things done. It's about aligning your actions with your values, your goals, your vision for the future.
You know, I think a lot of people struggle with that. We're so bombarded with messages about like doing more and being more efficient that we forget to ask ourselves, why am I doing this in the first place?
It's so true. We need to be mindful of the purpose behind our actions. AI can be this powerful tool for achieving our goals, but we need to define those goals first.
So it's about being intentional, right? Choosing what we want to achieve and then using AI to help us get there more effectively.
Exactly. It's about making the most of your time and energy and creating a life that is both fulfilling and impactful.
So as we wrap up part 2 of our productivity power-up, let's remember that AI is a tool, not a solution in itself. It's up to us to use these tools wisely and ethically to make sure that they are actually enhancing our lives, not controlling them.
And to be mindful of the potential downsides, like job displacement or bias, and work towards mitigating those risks.
It's all about finding that balance, that sweet spot where technology empowers us without diminishing our humanity.
We need both.
We do. And remember, the journey to greater productivity, it's ongoing. It's about constantly learning, adapting, and evolving your approaches.
What works for you today might not work for you tomorrow.
Exactly. And that's okay. The key is to stay curious, stay flexible, and never stop exploring new ways to improve.
And to be kind to yourself along the way.
Yes. Productivity is not about perfection, it's about progress.
It's about continually striving to be your best self, both personally and professionally.
Okay, and on that note, we're gonna take a break and come back for our final part, where we'll distill everything we've learned into some actionable takeaways and leave you with some inspiring challenges to implement in your own life.
Stay tuned.
Welcome back, everyone. We've covered so much in our deep dive into productivity, from those classic strategies to all the amazing AI tools out there.
It's been quite a journey.
It really has. But now it's time for the fun part, putting it all into practice.
Right, because it's one thing to talk about these ideas, but the real magic happens when you actually apply them to your own life. You know, knowledge without action, it's like a car without an engine. It might look nice, but it won't get you anywhere.
I love that analogy. So, okay, let's do like a quick recap of those core productivity strategies we talked about. Setting clear goals, prioritizing tasks, taking breaks, and remembering the power of saying no.
It's like building a house.
Yeah.
You need that strong foundation before you can start adding all the fancy stuff on top.
Exactly. No matter how cool your AI tools are, if you don't have those basic principles in place, the whole thing's gonna be a little shaky.
A recipe for disaster.
Right. Okay, and speaking of AI tools, let's revisit some of the ones that really stood out to us. What were some of your favorites?
Ooh, that's tough. There's so many good ones. But for me, GPT-4, just wow. Using it for decision making, like the example Jim Peake gave, it's like mind-blowing. It's like having a brainstorming partner who can analyze tons of data and offer completely different perspectives.
Yeah. It helps you break out of your own limited thinking and think about possibilities that you might never have considered otherwise.
Exactly. And I still think exploding topics is just incredibly powerful for like anyone who wants to stay ahead of the curve. You know, identifying those emerging trends early on. It's a game changer for entrepreneurs, marketers, really anyone who wants to stay ahead of the game.
Yeah, it's like having a secret window into the future.
Right.
And okay, we can't forget MindPal. That idea of having a whole team of virtual assistants to help you handle all those tasks you'd rather not do. I mean, that's pretty appealing.
It really is. It's all about like working smarter, not harder, right?
Yeah.
Using AI and, human talent in a way that lets you focus on your strengths and delegate the rest.
So much good stuff here. But here's the thing. It's all pretty useless unless we actually put it into practice. So for everyone listening, here's the challenge. Pick one strategy or AI tool from this episode and try it out this week. See what kind of difference it makes in your life. Maybe commit to a daily Pomodoro session. Try out GPT-4 for a decision you're struggling with. Or explore MindPal for delegation.
Take action. Don't let this information just sit in your brain. Put it to work and see what happens.
Exactly. You might be surprised by the results. I'm going to try integrating GPT-4 into my decision-making process this week.
Oh, nice. I'm curious to hear how it goes.
Me too. I have a few big decisions coming up.
Well, good luck with those.
Yeah.
And for everyone listening, remember, this is a journey. It's not a destination. Productivity is an ongoing process of learning, adapting, and finding what works best for you.
Because what works for one person might not work for another.
Totally.
So be flexible, experiment, and don't be afraid to adjust your approach along the way.
Exactly. And most importantly,
be kind to yourself.
Yes. Productivity is not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about continually striving to be your best self,
Absolutely. Both personally and professionally.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, on that note, that wraps up our Productivity Power Up Deep Dive. We hope you enjoyed this episode and found it both insightful and inspiring. Keep experimenting, keep learning, and keep diving deep. Until next time.